Hi, so welcome to a very exciting video. I'm very excited about this because it's something that I care a lot about. Sorry if Bubbles is going to be popping in and out of the video. He really wants to be a part of this. Today I really wanted to have a discussion and kind of show, work on, and especially today live in a way that I think is very consciously trying to beat the January blues. I don't know about you, but whenever it gets to this time of year, I always get really low motivation. I'm always cold and tired and I'm always complaining. I have established some great tips for beating the January blues. There are so many things that you can do that really bring that life and that energy to my life. So the first thing is playing, or the W word. If you have dogs, you know he's right here. Taking your dogs for those outside outings. Good boy. Making sure I'm getting all my cuddles in with this one and going outside with him. He's a really good motivator for going outside, especially in the snow. I went for one of those W's last night just to play in the snow with him, and it's very good motivation because you're so cute and I love you. Obviously, the first tip is just to go outside, and he's very helpful for that. The second thing is to stay physically active. So in the October, November, December months, I was doing that 5K running program with my brother. That was so good for me. I was out at least 3 times a week in the morning at 6:30 a.m. running. So good. It gave me routine. It gave me motivation, goals. I had Jack as my accountability partner. Super easy and accessible app. But more recently, I've started to do some weight focused training with my mom. And so we haven't quite established a routine because one of us is either sick or really busy or something, but we're working towards that right now, and it's really good. You always feel so much better afterwards. Obviously, starting is always the hardest part. Another thing that I learned when I was doing school from home is I still need to be getting dressed, still need to be putting on makeup, doing my hair, showering very consistently, even if I'm not leaving the house, because it's gonna make me feel like I need to take the day seriously. I need to do something. Oh, I've done my makeup, I need to go somewhere. Oh, I've done my hair, that made me feel better about myself. Oh, I put on an outfit, and now if someone's hey, want to do this, I'm not no, I'm really comfortable right now, and I which is fine. Those days are fine, but I was finding that that was 7 days a week. I don't need to put on makeup every day. I don't need to do my hair every day. But when I do those things, I feel like I always have a better day because I'm more open, and I've kind of tricked my brain into thinking that we're more open to doing something that day instead of just chilling all day. So this next tip is actually an item, and there's, I think, lots of different kinds, but these are happy lights. So if you are someone who struggles with seasonal depression, these are actually really useful. You just have them in your peripheral vision. They're really bright lights. They are very helpful. So I've been trying to keep mine on. I kind of put it out pretty late this year, but with these really dark days, it's really good. Very important part of my ritual when I'm in the office, and I have it right on my desk. It is kind of hard to film when I have it on, but that's just a me problem. Another thing is prioritizing time for my hobbies and things that I really enjoy, making sure that I am doing all the things that I love. So for me, I've really been mindfully reading, which means I sit down and I have a chunk of dedicated time to reading. I've tried to read more, and so sometimes I'll be reading on transit or in between classes, and it's really easy to just whip out my book instead of my phone, and that's a habit I've been working on switching. But I think it's also important to have dedicated chunks of time to reading instead of just whatever leftover time I have. Gizmo's here now. Say hi. Reading is a hobby that I really enjoy, and part of helping me have that dedicated time is if it's an audiobook, I can color with one of my little coloring books just so that I'm focused on what I'm listening to. Right now, I'm listening to The Hunger Games, and I'm reading Queen of Shadows as part of the Throne of Glass trilogy. And so I'm starting Hunger Games today, so that's what I'll be listening to. Hi, so today I'm going to be listening to the Hunger Games audiobook, and I'm going to be doing that while coloring. just so that I have something to do with my like body while I'm listening to it, so I don't really get distracted and stuff. But today I have this tropical escape coloring book I found in my drawer. I have my pencil crayons here, and of course I have my AirPods, so let's do this and let's see if this does anything. I think it's really important that you separate those times, and so when I'm listening to an audiobook, sometimes I really want it to be like leisure time, and so it's really good to signal to your brain that it's time to switch to just relaxing, just focusing on the book. You don't have anything else to worry about. I would say it's a pretty good experience, but I'm gonna have to keep trying it out. Another hobby that I really want to prioritize is drawing on my iPad. That used to be something that I really enjoyed. I really like to do, and I'm not very good, but I really enjoy doing like art, especially like fairy art. So that's something I need to work on for myself, but really any hobbies that help you to recharge are really important to be doing. Another hobby, but also just a general tip, is baking and cooking. So I don't have the greatest diet. I'm actually taking a class in nutrition right now, and it's really highlighting a lot of gaps in my diet. I think it's really important to make sure that you are trying to nourish your body. For me, it's really important that I remember to take my supplements and stuff like that. So right now I am taking my vitamin D, my iron, and I'm having magnesium, trying to do that every day. And I have a little app called like Reminders or something like that. And it just helps me to remember to keep track of it. And like at the end of the month, it will tell me how consistent I was. I'm really trying to make my meals at home like less of the ishiban noodles and just a sandwich I slap together, and more like conscious meals with like more nutrient dense snacks and stuff like that. But that will always be a work in progress for me. It's never gonna be perfect. We're trying. Everyone's trying their best. Another thing on this like physical health note is drinking a lot of water. There's a really good water tracker called Plant Nanny. It's really fun. So if you have trouble trying to figure out how much water you need, how much you've drank, I love Plant Nanny. It's a really good app. I've had it for at least 4 years now. I made drinking water fun. I have these really cute mason jars that I love to drink out of. I'll actually show you the one I'm drinking out of right now. This is an Enneagram mason jar cup, so it says type 9, the peacemaker. If you know, you know. I've made it a conscious effort to always have water with me at my desk whenever I'm working, and I saw a really great tip online that while you're reading, you should try and read until your water bottle is like empty, so it gives you something to do instead of like reaching for your phone if you're at kind of a slow point. Also, I have officially gotten to a point where I'm no longer consistently drinking 2 coffees a day. In Banff, I had 2 coffees almost every single day, and I would say all kinds of things to convince myself it wasn't that much of a caffeine intake. I was lying to myself. I'm at a point where I am only drinking 1 coffee a day, and it was important for me to bring that amount of caffeine down. As much as I want the energy from it, I wasn't getting very much energy from it. I was just getting anxiety, and I started to just feel awful on the days where I was drinking so much caffeine and I was putting too much coffee in. And so now I'm at a point where I have a healthy relationship with coffee again, where it does wake me up and I don't feel like overwhelmed or physical symptoms. But another note on coffee is making fun coffee. So we got a little coffee frother, and it's really fun to make that foam and those kinds of drinks. So just making little parts of your day a little more fun, a little more exciting, and a little more varied. When we had eggnog, I would make like eggnog coffee with like eggnog foam and stuff, but just little stuff like that always made the coffee experience feel so much better. Another thing that's very important is to make sure you're spending lots of time with friends and family or people who you just care about and who care about you. Really good to have that connection and make sure you're not just sitting at your desk by yourself alone all day, just like typing away or doing whatever. I had some friends visit from Banff, and so that was really nice to see them, but also making sure there's one friend at school who I really need to be meeting up with soon, so I really need to make a plan to meet up with them. And I think the common theme with all of these tips is bringing like sparks of life to the everyday routine, to your boring task, just keeping your life a little exciting, just really focusing on your body, getting outside, eating, drinking. I'm always working on trying to prioritize myself and always make this time of year less hard. I always struggle with the spring semester, and I get so worried about if I'm going to like have enough motivation to get through, or if it's all just gonna fall apart, and I get so worried. So it's really important to like start these habits, start these mindsets and routine early in the semester if you are a student like me. But you know, it's important to stay motivated this time of year. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that this helped, or you feel inspired to try and have your own tactics to beat the January blues. This is just kind of some things that I do, but thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you in another vlog very soon. Bye!